guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Priska. I am a Zambian YouTuber. If you're joining me for the very first time, welcome to my channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always keeping up with me. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what kind of content you have been enjoying in the comment section. What are your aha moments? What are the things that you want me to talk about and share with you on this channel? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about setting healthy boundaries with your family and your friends, when to draw the line, how to draw the line, and even what to do when you feel like boundaries are being crossed. So one of the things that have been one of the things that I used to struggle with is really setting the boundaries in relationships, especially with family and friends, because I was not a very good communicator, but I'm a very feeling human being. And because of that, I'll always have like frustrations and withdrawals from relationships. When I would feel offended, I would never really communicate. And when everything's like bottled, like you would anticipate any blowing up moment because I did not know how to use my words. So one of the things I have been learning, and which has also been very helpful for me this year in relationships, is really learning how to draw the boundaries. And by that I mean communicating exactly what it is that you want in your relationships with your friends and also your family, and when to be able to draw the line and how to be able to draw the line. So one of the most important things that I have learned is that it's very important for you to be able to tell people and let them know the things that you value, that are so important to you, that if they cross those boundaries, that creates conflict with them. And so instead of you keeping quiet and assuming that they just hurt your feelings because they just don't care, you need to be able to stand up for yourself as well and be able to say, you know what, I feel that you crossed the line when you said this or when you did this. And you don't have to say it in a very harsh manner, because I know we're all emotional and sometimes we feel like we get to that point where we just really outburst with everything that we feel and think. But I realized that it is so important that I needed to preserve some relationships, and it doesn't mean that just because I'm having like a very good relationship with a person that we'll never cross each other's paths. But I learned that sometimes we lose meaningful relationships because we don't communicate well. And I know that it's not easy to set up in your boundaries with family, but it is so important that you're clear on what is important to you, how you feel when you are hurt, when you feel disrespected in a certain way. And sometimes we tend to generalize, and sometimes we tend to assume that telling our family members about our boundaries is not how it's supposed to be, but it should be just open, because that's family. You're supposed to show love, and you're supposed to be very open-minded, and you're supposed to be open to tolerate certain things. But I realized that those are the things that create wounds also in family relationships, in the relationships that I have with my family, because had I communicated or said exactly how I feel, it would tell them who I am. And we feel bottled up when we don't tell people what our boundaries are. We feel not seen, we feel disrespected. But in order for you to harmonize relationships, especially with family, and knowing that that is such a sensitive area, it's okay to tell people these are your boundaries. This is when you cross the line with me like this, when you do this, this hurts me. When you speak to me in a certain way, I feel disrespected. It's okay to communicate your boundaries. And I remember as a kid growing up, it was hard to communicate what the boundaries were, or what I felt was I valued, or what I felt hurt me. Because when we stood up to tell our moms or our dads, like, I know that you're mad at me, but I was so hurt because you came out with an outburst. It was like, how dare you speak up to me? And that's the culture in society that has shaped us, that we can't speak for ourselves. It was really hard to understand how would I be understood if I couldn't say how I felt. And I thought like communicating my feelings was not important. And that made me afraid to tell anybody, a close friend, a family member, when they hurt me and I felt disrespected. I would be so full of emotions that you could not even understand exactly what I'm trying to say, because I'm all over the place with my feelings. But now I realize that when I need to protect my peace, sanity, when I want to be respected in a certain way, I just simply use my voice, but not my emotions and my anger to say exactly what I need to say. But all I need to say is simply, especially in a good moment, that when you did this, I did not like it. And when you do this, you cross the boundaries for me. I'm letting you know who I am, and I'm also getting to know you. So when I cross your boundaries, I'm aware and I will respect you. So I'm asking you to respect me in the same way. And I didn't know how to do that until I was in the working place, because I realized in the working place, I didn't want to seem all crazy and unemotionally balanced. But I had to learn how to communicate my words, because I wanted to maintain the relationships with respect. And once I started to practice that in the workplace, I was like, you know what? I can actually practice this. I can do this with my family. I can do this with my friends. It is as easy as just using my words, and it is as easy as just using the right tone. And instead of just bottling up everything, it's okay to communicate your boundaries with your friends and your family. And if people do not respect that, you're able to have this red flag moment of understanding what would the relationship be like if a person does not respect your boundaries. And I think from that, I have been able to also tell what it really means to be in a toxic friendship and even toxic relationships, even with family members. It's possible to have toxic relationships with your family members. And it's because we don't communicate our values and our boundaries and what they are supposed to be like. And the older you get, the more you feel like you want to define who you are. And that is so important. And that has been able to make me understand, do I want to be in this relationship in the long term, or be in this friendship in the long term, if I'm in the company of someone who does not respect me, my boundaries, my values, and who I am. And when it comes to family, I want you to let me know what you're thinking. When it comes to family relations, I communicate my boundaries, and when I don't like something, my withdrawal from that relationship, not saying that I don't love this person, but it's kind of like I just kind of like take space back so that this other person can kind of have this moment and understand that if they keep pushing that boundary, keep overstepping the boundary, that then keep disrespecting me and my values, it is hurting our relationship and causing us to grow apart, because by you doing so, you are hurting me, because you're not recognizing how I feel. You're not acknowledging exactly how I feel. You are just acting out of selfishness because you're not thinking about how I feel. So I usually tend to withdraw, but never withdraw in hate or um never withdraw in hurt. But sometimes, I'm just going to be genuinely honest, sometimes when I feel highly disrespected, especially when someone just refuses to know that this is the area that they crossed, I am very careful about how that relationship moves forward, even especially with a family member, because it's not like I'll be acting, oh, I don't care about you anymore, or I don't give a crap about you anymore. It's not that. It's really about you crossed the line, and I don't want to create a toxic relationship, because sometimes it just goes in cycles, and you just get sick and tired of being disrespected. You get sick and tired of people always just feeling that they can just do whatever it is that they want because they have a big attitude. They feel they can control the situation. And I really dislike that one factor, when you feel like you can do anything, and then you feel like you will control things, because that's a toxic trait. You're controlling people, and you are manipulating. And I identify that even in family relationships, in family members. Toxic, controlling, manipulating. So when I said, like, this is the boundary, I will not tolerate this anymore, I mean, we're cool, but something has to change. Something will change. So yeah, let me know how you communicate your boundaries with your friendships and your family members. Like, I really want to know how you communicate your boundaries with your family members. How do you let them know what's important to you in the heat of the moment? And how do you communicate what's important to you that they don't just disrespect you because you have your boundaries. I feel like every person has their own boundaries. People have different values. People want to be respected in a certain way. People want to be acknowledged in a certain way. And if you just do whatever it is that you want, and even act in a crazy manner because you feel like it's just family, and they're gonna get around. And I feel like doing that is so disrespectful. Like, you can't just assume that you can do whatever it is that you want, and you can just make things work. Like, at some point it becomes frustrating and toxic, and you should be able to see the other person for who they are, that they have their own life, they value things differently from you, and they have different standards for many things: money, marriage, faith. Like, we all have different standards for the way we live our life, how we build our homes, how we talk to our kids, how we raise our kids. So I can't just go in my sibling's house and just tell her how she should do things because it's about me. So let me know what you think on setting boundaries with your family, how you communicate yourself. And if this video is something that helped you, I hope that I can share a little bit of more light. I'm not acting the expert, but I realize that sometimes when we need to grow in a healthy way. And healthy way means healthy relationships. But healthy relationships then mean healthy communication, because communication is what builds so many relationships. And I have moments where I do feel like I have lost friendships because I was childish. I did not communicate the boundary, or I was not aware of that person's boundary, and I didn't respect their boundaries. But the mature that I get in life, I kind of feel like, man, I want to have a thriving I want to have a life that is thriving, that is healthy in every way. And if it means when you get into relationships, sometimes you can have a friendship that might turn to a business relationship. And then you have to be in recognition about every boundary, because when you start to clash, then you'll be able to know, like, oh, the reason you're clashing is not that you're not very good friends, but you start to realize that you have different boundaries. So let me know how you felt around this video, and let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're thinking. And yeah, I hope I'll see you in the next video. Stay well and be blessed, and bye.